When it comes to diabetes, many people think they need to cut out all fruit from their diet. After all, fruit has sugar, right? But the truth is a little more complex and much more interesting. Some fruits can actually cause blood sugar spikes, but others do exactly the opposite. They help balance blood sugar levels in a natural, safe, and even tasty way. In this video, you will discover 10 incredible fruits that are true allies in controlling diabetes. And at the end, I will also show you the 5 fruits that you should avoid as much as possible if you want to keep your blood sugar under control. This is valuable information, especially if you have type 1 or type 2 diabetes, are pre-diabetic, or simply want to prevent future problems. And the best part, all this with simple, accessible, and straightforward tips without complications. Oh, and before we start, make sure you're subscribed to the channel. This really helps our work and ensures that you continue to receive content that really makes a difference to your health. Now, let's get to know the first fruit that acts as a true cleaner of blood sugar: avocado, the fruit with almost no sugar. If there is one fruit that surprises when it comes to glycemic control, it is the avocado. Unlike most fruits, which have their main characteristic as their natural sweetness, the avocado follows a completely opposite path. It has almost no sugar, and that is precisely what makes it a great ally for those who have diabetes. Rich in monounsaturated fats, avocados help improve insulin sensitivity, which means your body uses insulin more efficiently. This reduces the amount of sugar circulating in your blood and prevents those dangerous spikes after meals. Another strong point of avocado is its high content of soluble fibers. They form a type of gel in the intestine that slows down the absorption of carbohydrates. The result? Blood sugar levels remain more stable and controlled throughout the day. But the benefits don't stop there. The good fats in avocados also help with cardiovascular health, an essential point of attention for anyone with diabetes. In addition, it is very versatile. It can be eaten for breakfast, mashed with a little lemon, in salads, or even in sweet preparations, as long as there is no added sugar. And if you're the type of person who avoids avocados for fear of gaining weight, it's worth remembering. When consumed in moderation, it helps with satiety, which can even help with weight control, another important factor in managing type 2 diabetes. Science backs this up. Several studies show that diets rich in good fats and fiber, like those found in avocados, are associated with better glycemic control and a lower risk of insulin resistance. So if you haven't included this fruit in your routine yet, now you have good reasons to give avocado a chance. And speaking of fruits with high functional power, the next item on the list is small but full of impact. Let's talk now about strawberries, a fruit that many people consider to be a villain, but which can be a great ally. Strawberry, sweet but controlled. Many people look at strawberries and think that must be full of sugar, better to avoid it. But the reality is quite different. Strawberries are one of the safest fruits for people with diabetes, and more than that, they can help control blood sugar levels when consumed correctly. Despite its slightly sweet flavor, strawberries have a low glycemic index, and which means they don't cause rapid spikes in blood sugar. They're also rich in fiber, which helps slow down the digestion and absorption of carbohydrates from your meal. Another strong point is its high content of antioxidants, such as anthocyanins and vitamin C. These compounds act directly to reduce inflammation and improve insulin sensitivity, 2 essential factors in the treatment of diabetes. And there's more. Strawberries can also help control cholesterol and protect blood vessels, which is essential since people with diabetes have a higher risk of cardiovascular disease. But of course, it all depends on how you eat it. Fresh strawberries are ideal. Avoid processed versions with syrup or covered in sugar. A good tip is to eat strawberries with unsweetened natural yogurt or with a spoonful of chia seeds, creating a functional, tasty, and safe dessert. Furthermore, because it is low in calories and has a high satiating power, strawberries can also be an excellent option for those trying to lose weight or control their appetite. In short, strawberries are one of those fruits that seem like a luxury but work as a natural remedy. The secret lies in how you use this food in your daily life. And if strawberries have already surprised you, get ready for the next fruit, which is simple, common, and often underestimated. Let's talk now about apples, a classic fruit that has more impact on glycemic control than many people imagine. Apple, the discreet ally of blood sugar levels. Among so many fruits available in our daily lives, the apple is perhaps one of the most common. and therefore often forgotten. But what few people know is that it is a true and discreet ally in the fight against high blood sugar levels. The secret of apples lies in a special fiber called pectin. Found mainly in the skin, pectin slows down the digestion and absorption of carbohydrates, helping to keep blood sugar levels more stable. This makes them an excellent option for those who need to control diabetes without sacrificing flavor and convenience. Furthermore, apples have a low glycemic index, which means that eating them does not cause sudden spikes in blood sugar levels. This effect is even more beneficial when the apple is eaten whole with the skin on and raw, not in juices, which concentrate the fruit's natural sugar and eliminate its fiber. Another important point, apples contain flavonoids and antioxidants, such as quercetin, which help reduce insulin resistance and combat chronic inflammation, two factors that make it difficult to control diabetes and increase the risk of complications. And if you're not sure when to eat, apples are a great choice for snacks between meals. They promote satiety, help control hunger, and prevent that energy slump that many people experience throughout the day. As a practical tip, try slicing an apple and sprinkling some cinnamon on top. Cinnamon also has properties that help regulate glucose levels. In other words, you create a functional and delicious combination. By including apples in your daily diet, you will be choosing a simple, affordable, and efficient food to take care of your health. And the best part, without exaggeration or complicated formulas. But if the apple already seems like an interesting ally to you, just wait until you meet the next fruit. It's small, purple, and powerful. Let's talk about the blackberry, one of the champions when it comes to fighting excess sugar in the blood. Blackberry, small in size, giant in effects. At first glance, blackberries may seem like just another delicate and tasty fruit, but behind their modest size, there is true functional power in combating excess blood sugar. And the best part, they are a delicious fruit, easy to include in your routine, and that can bring surprising benefits. Blackberries are very rich in anthocyanins, a type of antioxidant that directly improves insulin sensitivity. This means that the body can better utilize the insulin that is already available, preventing the accumulation of glucose in the bloodstream. In addition, it contains good amounts of soluble fiber, which helps regulate the digestion and absorption of carbohydrates. This slower process is precisely what favors glycemic stability, avoiding the dreaded sugar spikes and drops that affect people with diabetes. Another interesting point is that blackberries also have anti-inflammatory and vascular protective effects. This makes them a valuable ally in preventing common complications in diabetes, such as circulatory problems and high blood pressure. And there's more. For those who like natural alternatives, blackberry leaf tea is also widely used for its potential benefits in glycemic control. Of course, always with medical supervision, but it's worth knowing about this complementary option. In practice, blackberries can be eaten raw with natural yogurt, in smoothies, or even frozen as a healthy cold snack. Just be careful with industrial jams. Many are loaded with sugar. If you're enjoying these practical and accessible tips, take advantage now and like the video. This shows YouTube that this content is useful and makes it reach more people who also need this information. And speaking of powerful fruits, the next one on the list is a champion when it comes to hydration, satiety, and blood sugar control. Let's now learn about the pear, a soft fruit but highly effective in combating high blood sugar. Natural. Moisturizer and regulator pears are one of those fruits that almost everyone has eaten, but few people really know about. Mild in flavor and discreet in appearance, they hide incredible power when it comes to glycemic control and body hydration. Two essential points for those living with diabetes. Rich in water and soluble fiber, pears help keep the body hydrated and the intestines functioning well. This combination slows down digestion and makes the absorption of sugars happen more gradually. The result? Fewer spikes in blood glucose. Another advantage of pears is their ability to promote satiety. Eating a pear as a morning or afternoon snack can help control your appetite, preventing you from overeating at later meals. And in the long term, this contributes to both blood sugar control and weight management. It is important to eat pears with the skin, as this is where most of the fiber and antioxidants are found. In addition, the fruit contains bioactive compounds that help improve insulin sensitivity and protect cells against oxidative stress. Ripe pears, those that are slightly soft to the touch, are best as they have a more pleasant flavor and are more easily digested. You can combine them with a little cinnamon powder for an extra functional touch, as cinnamon also helps regulate blood sugar levels. Simple, affordable, and versatile, pears are one of those fruits that are worth having around. They are like a natural, soothing agent for the body, regulating sugar levels gently and efficiently. And speaking of regulation, the next fruit is a true champion in functional fibers and intestinal benefits, something directly linked to diabetes control. Let's now learn about guava, a true tropical treasure that deserves special attention. Guava, the treasure of fibers. Guava is a typical Brazilian fruit, rich in flavor and color, but what really impresses is its functional value, especially for those with diabetes. If you are looking for a fruit that really makes a difference in controlling blood sugar, guava is one of the best bets. It is one of the fruit's richest in soluble and insoluble fiber, which means that its consumption helps to slow down the digestion and absorption of carbohydrates. This results in a more stable flow of glucose in the bloodstream, avoiding the sudden spikes and drops so common in those with insulin resistance. But the benefits go beyond blood sugar levels. Guava also has a direct effect on intestinal health, strengthening the good bacterial flora and contributing to a more balanced metabolism. And as if that weren't enough, it is rich in vitamin C, which improves immunity and reduces inflammatory processes that impair the body's response to insulin. An important tip: whenever possible, eat guava with the skin. The skin contains most of the fiber and antioxidants. And if you are looking for natural alternatives, guava leaf tea is also known to help control blood sugar levels, although it should be used under professional guidance. Guava can be eaten alone, in cubes with chia, mixed with natural yogurt, or as part of a fruit salad without added sugar. It is a fruit that combines practicality, flavor, and effectiveness in glycemic control. Now, tell me in the comments, do you usually eat guava on a daily basis, or are you going to start including it after reading this information? I want to know which of these fruits is already part of your routine, and if you think guava is powerful, just wait until you meet kiwi. This green, tart fruit is a true functional gem with surprising effects on glucose metabolism. Kiwi, functional sour. If you are looking for a different fruit with a strong flavor and that really helps control blood sugar levels, kiwi can be a surprising choice. Despite its small size, it is nutritionally dense and offers a combination of elements that greatly benefit those living with diabetes. To begin with, kiwi is rich in soluble fiber, which helps delay the absorption of sugar in the intestine. This prevents glycemic spikes after meals, which is essential for maintaining stability throughout the day. In addition, these fibers also promote satiety and regulate intestinal transit. Another highlight is its high vitamin C content, which strengthens the immune system and has antioxidant properties. This action reduces oxidative stress in the body, one of the factors that contribute to insulin resistance. In other words, kiwi helps the body function better as a whole, including in the use of glucose. Despite having a sour taste, kiwi has a low glycemic index, making it safe for diabetics when consumed in moderation. It also contains potassium, which helps control blood pressure, another factor that deserves attention for those with diabetes. A practical tip is to combine kiwi with sources of good fat, such as nuts or seeds, which makes digestion even slower and more beneficial. And since it is an easy to digest fruit, it can be included both for breakfast and as a snack. If you want to vary your menu and add more color and nutrition to your meals, kiwi is a great choice. And even though it is a little more expensive than other fruits, a small portion is enough to reap good results. And now that we've talked about a tart fruit, let's move on to a sweet, delicate, and often underrated option. In the next chapter, you'll find out why cherries, when consumed the right way, can be a great ally in controlling blood sugar. Cherry. The sweet of moderation cherries are the type of fruit that often appear at end-of-year parties or in sophisticated desserts. But behind this decorative look, there is a powerful fruit for those looking to control their blood sugar levels, as long as it is consumed in the right way. Rich in anthocyanins and polyphenols, cherries have antioxidant and anti-inflammatory properties that help improve insulin sensitivity and reduce chronic inflammation, one of the main causes of uncontrolled diabetes. This means that the body can better handle blood sugar, using it more efficiently. In addition, cherries contain natural melatonin, which helps improve the quality of your sleep. And why is this important? Because poor sleep directly affects insulin regulation and can destabilize blood sugar levels the next day. Another positive point is that cherries have a moderate glycemic index and are rich in fiber, which contributes to slower digestion and a gradual release of glucose. In other words, they satisfy the desire for something sweet without compromising the body's balance. But here's an important warning: it's essential to choose the fresh or frozen version. candied or candied cherries, which we usually find in industrial desserts, are usually loaded with sugar and can have the opposite effect on the body. So if you find fresh or frozen cherries without added sugar, take advantage of them. They are a great option to vary your diet and also provide essential nutrients such as vitamin C, potassium, and bioactive compounds that protect the heart. Even though it is a fruit that is less accessible year-round, it is worth including it whenever possible, especially when you have a sweet tooth. In moderation, it can be a valuable ally. And now, get ready to meet a true blue jewel of the diet. Small, delicate, and extremely functional, the blueberry is the next fruit on the list, and its effects on the body go beyond controlling sugar. Blueberry, the invisible protector. Blueberries, also known as blueberries, may be small in size, but their benefits are enormous, especially for those living with diabetes. This dark blue fruit is considered a true functional food, with a direct impact on glucose regulation and protecting the body. One of the great advantages of blueberries is their extremely high concentration of antioxidants, especially anthocyanins. These compounds help reduce oxidative stress in cells, which improves the body's response to insulin. This means less glucose builds up in the blood and a more efficient metabolism. In addition, blueberries have a low glycemic index and a good amount of fiber, a perfect combination for those looking to avoid blood sugar spikes after meals. It is a fruit that releases energy in a slower and more controlled way. Another strong point is its anti-inflammatory action. Studies show that regular consumption of blueberries can help protect blood vessels and reduce the risk of cardiovascular complications, which are unfortunately common among people with type 2 diabetes. And it doesn't stop there. Research also indicates that blueberries can play an important role in preventing cognitive decline, something that is especially relevant for older people who live with diabetes and want to preserve their memory and mental agility. In practice, you can consume blueberries fresh, frozen, or in smoothies. A good tip is to mix them with natural yogurt or oatmeal, creating a rich, balanced, and extremely nutritious meal. Even though they are a little more expensive and not always easy to find, blueberries can be included in small portions a few times a week, enough to bring great health benefits. And now that we've talked about the invisible protector of blood sugar, it's time to learn about a tropical fruit that many love, but few know how much it can naturally stimulate insulin production. Cashew is the next star on our list. Cashew, tropical fruit that helps the pancreas. Cashew is one of the most Brazilian fruits out there. It has a strong, juicy flavor and a unique aroma. But besides being delicious, cashew has a benefit that few people know about. It can help stimulate the functioning of the pancreas, contributing to the balance of insulin in the body. Rich in vitamin C, in levels even higher than oranges, cashews strengthen the immune system and combat chronic inflammation, which is a major enemy of people with diabetes. In addition, this vitamin has antioxidant action, protecting the cells of the pancreas and helping its function. Another highlight is the presence of soluble fibers, which act in regulating digestion and sugar absorption. Regular consumption of cashews in small portions can help keep blood sugar levels more stable throughout the day. But be careful, it is best to consume cashews in their natural state, in pieces, and not in the form of juice. Cashew juice, especially when industrialized, concentrates the natural sugar of the fruit and loses the fibers that would be responsible for balancing the absorption of glucose. Furthermore, cashews are a source of phenolic compounds and minerals such as magnesium, which also contribute to metabolic function and insulin sensitivity. In moderation and in the right way, cashews can be an excellent addition to the diet of those who want to control diabetes more naturally and enjoyably. It is further proof that it is possible to eat well and take care of your health at the same time. And now that you know the 10 fruits that help suck sugar from the blood, it's time to talk about the other side of the coin. In the next chapter, you'll find out which 5 fruits can seriously disrupt blood sugar control, even though they may seem harmless. The 5 worst fruits for people with diabetes. So far, we've talked about fruits that help control blood sugar levels, but now it's time to sound the alarm. Some fruits, although healthy for most people, can be dangerous for people with diabetes, especially when consumed in excess or in the wrong way. Below, you will learn about 5 fruits that deserve caution, and in some cases should even be avoided. 1. Mango. Although tasty and nutritious, mango is rich in fructose and has a high glycemic index. This means that it is quickly absorbed by the body, causing spikes in blood sugar. If you are going to eat it, do so in very small portions and always with a source of fat or fiber. 2. Ripe banana. The riper the banana, the higher the Concentration of natural sugar. Green bananas have less glycemic impact, but the ripe version can easily unbalance blood sugar levels. If you are going to eat them, choose a less ripe silver or Nanica banana, and always in moderation. 3. Grapes. Grapes are small but high in sugar, and since it is easy to eat several at once, this becomes dangerous for those who need to control their blood sugar levels. In addition, they contain almost no fiber, which worsens the glycemic effect. 4. Watermelon. Although very refreshing, watermelon has a high glycemic index and low fiber content. This causes the sugar in the fruit to quickly enter the bloodstream. A small piece may be tolerated, but it should not be part of a diabetic's diet. 5. Candied or dehydrated fruits. These are the champions in sugar concentration. In the dehydration or crystallization process, the water is removed and the sugar becomes highly concentrated. In addition, they often receive additional sugar, making them a trap. Disguised as healthy. If you already eat any of these fruits regularly, it's worth rethinking the form and quantity. Replacing them with safer options can make a big difference to your health. And now that you know what to eat and what to avoid, it's time to recap everything and leave an important message for your future. Now you know, not all fruits are bad for people with diabetes. On the contrary, many of them can be true allies in your journey towards better health and balance. Acting naturally in the control of blood sugar, satiety, immunity, and even heart health. At the same time, it is essential to recognize which fruits require moderation or should be avoided, as even healthy foods can become dangerous when not consumed consciously. The most important thing is to understand that, with information and smart choices, it is entirely possible to maintain a tasty, varied, and safe diet without giving up the pleasure of eating well. If this video helped you in any way, check right now if you are subscribed to the channel. This is essential so that you continue receiving content like this, carefully designed to inform, guide, and inspire better habits. And also take the opportunity to share this video with anyone who needs it, because taking care of your health is even better when we do it together. See you in the next content. Until then, take good care of yourself and eat wisely.